that government does must be based on law, must be guided by law. In fact, all of us as Ghanaians are enjoined to carry ourselves and conduct our activities on the basis of Ghanaian law. So when GLOSSAG makes a specific demand for some action to be taken in respect of appointments to certain government organizations, they must do so on the basis of law. So you may ask where the law stands on all of this. We have engaged GLOSSAG. We have made it known to them that we believe that the president has acted in accordance with Ghanaian law. Now, the Births and Deaths Registry does not exist in isolation. It's an entity set up by law and governed by law. Indeed, the most recent law that governs the activities of that department is the Registration of Births and Deaths Act 2020, which is Act 1027. And this act sets out in detail how the activities of that organization are to be conducted. And in fact, when it comes to the appointment of a registrar, who essentially is the head of that department, Section 2 of Act 1027 makes it clear how it ought to be done. The contention of GLOSSAG is that the registrar position is a civil service position. That has to be backed by specific provision in law. Now, if you read the relevant section of this law, Section 2, which deals with the appointment of the Registrar of Births and Deaths, Section 2.1 says, the registry shall have a Registrar of Births and Deaths. Section 2.2 says, the President shall, in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution, appoint the registrar. Now, you may seek to inquire what Article 195 says. Article 195 simply gives the President power to make appointments, and in some instances allows him to delegate that power to other entities, individuals, or organizations to do. And in the specific instance of the Births and Deaths Registry, the law governing the operations of that the law governing the operations of that entity spells out clearly who should make the appointment. It says the president, and the president has acted in accordance with the 1992 Constitution. Now, Section 2.3 says, the president shall, in appointing a person as the registrar, have regard to the relevant academic qualification, experience, and knowledge of that person in civil registration. The registrar shall hold office on the terms and conditions specified in the letter of appointment. So, the criteria for that appointment is clearly spelled out in Section 2 of this Act. GLOSSAG has not questioned the competence of the current occupant of the position of registrar. They only say that he is politically exposed. But I have just read the law to you, and you, as journalists, I'm sure, have capacity to dig up this law and read it for yourself. There is no way that it is said that the position ought to be occupied by a civil servant. And Mr. Adam Botchway is a highly experienced official who in the past has served as district chief executive under the Mills administration. And he has many years of public service experience. And he has requisite academic qualifications to hold that particular position. So it is the view of government that whilst we respect our partners in organized labor and seek to dialogue on all relevant matters, in this particular instance, the president has acted in accordance with Ghanaian law. And for that reason, there cannot be a reason why Mr. Adam Botchway should be removed, only because he is not a civil servant. There is no provision that says that the position is reserved for civil servants. If it is the view of GLOSSAG that in the past civil servants have occupied it, it does not mean that any other person, apart from a civil servant, cannot occupy that position. And we need to act strictly in accordance with Ghanaian law, even as we continue to engage and dialogue on how we govern our country. We are aware of similar agitations in the past against the appointee of President Akufo-Addo. And we do know that a court case emanated from that particular engagement. As we speak, I am not aware that the court has determined the matter. So until this law is revoked or there is judicial pronouncement that says that this particular law is illegal, and should be struck down. We believe that the president has acted correctly in respect of the appointment of Mr. Adam Botchway. So we would appeal to CLOGSAG to rescind their decision to go on strike. A strike action, we appreciate, is one of the mechanisms through which they can drive home their demands. They can compel government to take a look at their grievances. But in this particular instance, we do not believe that sufficient basis exists to go on strike, because it will be unfair to the people of Ghana who pay the wages of all public officials, including members of CLOGSAG, that on the basis of a belief which is not backed by law, they go on strike. I don't think that we'll be doing right by the people of Ghana if that position is sustained. So that